Welcome back, guys, to yet another World of Warcraft video for the War Within. Today I'm going to be talking about a little bit of a preparation situation for Season 2, and this is guesstimations, and it's also mostly if you're completely okay with taking huge chances on basically holding a lot of value for multiple months. So if you're not really interested in doing that, if you're more of I'm going to go farm this thing and then I'm going to get my gold, or I'm going to go craft this thing and then I'm going to get my gold, this is probably not going to be for you. But still, it's an interesting point of view. It's something that a lot of people have been asking about because I've talked about it a couple of times. So therefore, we will be talking about it today. Before we do get into it, though, make sure that you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with all the notifications on, and make sure that you check out Goldcapped in the link down below in the description, probably also in the pinned comments. It's a great place to be. There is the website, obviously, with guides for literally every single version of World of Warcraft, and then we also have a Discord where there's a premium part of the Discord, which you do get access to permanently if you just get 1 month of gold capped. And the link gives you a little bit of a discount and it supports me, so if you're interested in any of that, make sure you go check that out. But let's get straight into the video while this guy is literally right on top of me. So here's the thing, okay? Something that we have been doing for the last couple of months is we have been doing the concentration alt army. As a temporary little small update, I am currently at 225 characters set up with professions, most being enchanting and tailoring. Now, specifically, tailoring is the one that we're going to be talking about today. A lot of people are completely ignoring it because the concentration value is not super great out of tailoring currently, which is super true. But depending on how much gold you have and how in-depth you want to go into these professions, you might not want to full send, 30, 40, 50k or even more into another profession besides something like enchanting. Maybe you don't have enough gold for it, and tailoring is a good option for that. Now, the secondary good option is getting Artisan's Acuity. Now, you might be like, Sam, why are you talking about Artisan's Acuity? We can only use it for recipes. We can only use it for tools and whatnot. And while that is very true, if you don't have plans to do, your concentration alt army for the entirety of the expansion, getting something like blue tools or purple tools is not really worth it. Like, if you only plan on doing it for a couple of weeks or whatever, it's not super worth it. I would definitely recommend getting your blue accessories, or even if there's a purple one like there is an enchanting, I would recommend getting those on your tunes before you do what we're about to talk about here. But again, this is completely up to you. And the difference in having those tools is not like make or break it for your build, so it depends on how huge your alt army is rather, and what your setup is, so you can decide what you want to do with that. But again, what we're going to be talking about today is going to be Artisan's Acuity material bags. These right here, satchel of surplus, either herbs or leathers, cloth, or dust. Now, in these bags, there is rank 3 materials. And I'm going to just buy the herb one and the ore one just to give you guys an idea of what they actually contain. Now, the most important thing is these have a possibility to give you a recipe. These are the BOE recipes that you can get from the open world, any of the world events, also the raids. So early on in the season, these were absolutely insane, and it's something that we actually talked about early on in the season, that we were speed running alts to be able to get 600 Artisan's Acuity to try and actually get the recipes that came out of the raid. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this today, and why I'm also mentioning Season 2, if everything goes like it was in Dragonflight, then Season 2 will also have new raid recipes. And it's very likely that these are going to be added to these particular bags. Now, there is a slight chance that it's Blizzard and they don't do it until way further into the patch. We obviously don't know. But again, taking a chance on these alts and just holding on to a bunch of Artisan's Acuity is going to be a pretty good idea, right? And even if that doesn't work out, you still have all of the rank 3 materials that are going to come out of these. Now, I would not buy these before the actual season comes out. And the actual material list, there's a bunch of information for that over on Wowhead, so you can always just search up the names and look what people are typing in terms of what you can get out of them. But just to give you guys an idea, we'll open this herb one. You can see here that we're getting rank 3 materials. We're getting Myco Bloom, Lure Drops, Orbanids, Blessing Blossom, and Aerofor Spear, and then we got a Null Lotus as well. If we open the ore one, you can see we get Bismuth, we get Acuity, we get Iron Claw, and then we also get a couple of Null Stones. I know for a fact, because I've opened a lot of these in the past, null stones are not guaranteed and null lotuses are not guaranteed, and the actual amounts of materials you get is also kind of random. Not completely random, but again, it's not, you know, the average is a little bit different, so you can't fully rely on it, so you need to open a lot of them. But regardless, this will be very good in Season 2, even if you cannot get any recipes, because the chances of actually getting the recipes are pretty low. So again, you're mostly going to be relying on these materials. Now, you might be like, okay, well, how do I get a bunch of Artisan's Acuity? Now, here's the kicker, and this is why I was talking about specifically tailoring. In most professions, there is, for example, like alchemy, it's actually very hard to get any of the work orders, you know, cheap enough to have it be worth it to just get Artisan's Acuity or as a byproduct of something else. But when it comes to actually tailoring, now I've already crafted on this one time this week, so it's there's not going to be any particularly good ones here. But generally with tailoring, there is a lot of these that are very, very cheap. And I'll actually go and check another tune here, but generally you can find a lot of these work orders either to be free or they only require specifically one or two of the vendor materials and maybe sometimes weaver cloth bolts. And the good part about it as well is you can also level tailoring very slowly, but get yourself some knowledge points and make the profession a little better, which is actually something that you would want anyway, if you want to be able to continue to do this in the future. Now let's check this one. So you can see something like this, right? This one gives us one tailoring knowledge for 4 muscle threads. So we're basically getting 3 Artisan's Acuity here. And we could even proc resourcefulness and get a little bit more out of it. And then you see something like this right here. 2 Weaver Cloth Bolts and we get 10 Artisan's Acuity out of it. And we also get a payout. So one of these payout boxes would pay for the material prices of what this is because it's so cheap now, which means in this reality, we actually get Artisan's Acuity completely for free again, and that's what I was talking about. And then you see something like this. This one only requires adorning ribbons. We get Artisan's Acuity, and again, we get a payout, and then however you want to run it, we can also get lucky enough to potentially get a Dusk Weave or a Dawn Weave proc. But again, we didn't on that one. But that's just what I'm trying to say. When it comes to really cheap and a lot of work orders, I think tailoring is your best option. So if this is something that you actually want to bet on and you have a bunch of very, very 3 profession slots on your alts, you can easily set that up. And to be able to get to this point is super easy because you really, realistically, to be able to start to make most of the work orders that pop up on these alts, and you could do it, you know, twice a week or once a week or whatever. It's really, really easy. You don't really need to level your profession to much more than close to 50, and that's not going to require more than a couple thousand gold because it's tailoring. It only really requires Weaver Cloth Bolts, and sometimes it's going to make you require a couple of pieces of storm dust, some exquisite Weaver Cloth Bolts. But in the grand scheme of things, to be able to unlock, you know, something like textile treasures and just get your extra threads, so you get a lot of resourcefulness, so you can make your work orders better, that's only going to be a couple of thousand gold. And then you can be on your way to be able to collect a lot of passive Artisan's Acuity. And on top of that, every single alt that you have can collect a one-time material bag in here. Now, this alt has already collected it, but specifically from this NPC right here, you can get a one-time quest that gives you a material bag, and it also has 350 Artisan's Acuity in it. Now, again, what I'm trying to say here is if you level up tailoring, and this is very, very simple, if you just level up tailoring for a couple thousand gold and then start collecting Artisan's Acuity now, you'll probably be able to buy, you know, 2, 3, maybe even 4 of those particular material bags, because as far as I've been able to see, at least on my alt army right now, that would also be counting my other profession with enchanting here. I can get anywhere from 50 to 100 Artisan's Acuity every time I craft, and currently I do that twice a week. So I could be seeing anywhere from 100 to 200 Artisan's Acuity every single week. And if we say that as in a per month situation, that means we're getting anywhere from, you know, 400 to 800 Artisan's Acuity every single month on every single alt. And right now, at the time of recording this video, I would say we're probably 2.5 months away from Season 2 launching. So in that sense, we could say that that's, you know, what, 1,000 Artisan's Acuity, maybe up to somewhere in between 1,000 and 2,000 Artisan's Acuity. And that number might be a little skewed. It's a big range, obviously, depending on how hard you go, and maybe you do a bunch of orders that are actually costing a lot more, but then, you know, it's a byproduct of progressing in your profession, whatever it is. I'm just trying to mention to you guys, hold on and stack up Artisan's Acuity. Don't pay too much for it, because obviously the value that you get out of a bag like this also has to be worth it. So if you're overpaying a bunch for your Artisan's Acuity, you're actually just going to potentially end up losing gold. So really make sure that you pay attention to something like that. And again, if you're looking at it like this, you could say right now for me, I have 225 alts, right? And with the stats that I was talking about before, if I could expect to get at least 1,000 Artisan's Acuity before Season 2 launches, I'm going to be looking at 225,000 Artisan's Acuity, which in this sense would be 375 of those material bags. And just to give you guys an idea, right now, I would say those particular ones that we open, the herb one and the ore one, they're probably between like 3 and 5k in value. So if we get 375 of those, and we will just say 4k as an average between 3 and 5k, I could expect to get 1.5 million out of that. Now, I've already been doing this for a while, and depending on what I do with my alts, I might be able to get even more than that. And that's just at a baseline value, because on top of that, if you get really lucky, you could get any of the recipes that currently exist, but you could also get a chance of potentially getting the new ones in Season 2. Now, you also have to remember those prices have a huge chance of going up for Season 2. So the value that we're looking at now might be totally different when the actual patch launches, if it's anything similar to what we had in Dragonflight. But again, this is a lot of guesstimations, this is a lot of ideas, but again, I just want to mention that this is something that you guys should be looking for. Don't just write off Artisan's Acuity if you feel like, oh, I don't really want to do my blue profession tools or my epic ones, or, oh, I already have them, so I'm not going to bother with Artisan's Acuity or work orders anymore, because there's no point, right? And there definitely is, because just besides the actual Artisan's Acuity that you can get and making sure that that's actually worth it, you can also get a bunch of augment runes, you can get unraveled instructions, stacks of pentagold, and a lot of that stuff is still super worth it. And if you make builds that are more focused on resourcefulness, you can actually get quite a lot out of work orders. So again, don't sleep on it, make sure that you actually pay attention to it, because it's really, really important. But something I want to mention towards the end of this video is, and I was also kind of hinting at it a little bit, we are going to be giving away one of these Hate Forged Blaze Cycles again, okay? I will be picking a winner about a week, 7 days after this particular video launches. To be able to enter, all you have to do is type, what should we do? We're going to do the same thing again. In the previous video, we said to enter the giveaway, you just have to type, I want a bike, in the comments down below. Make sure that you type, I want a bike, in the comments down below, and you are entered into the giveaway. I will be posting the winner in 7 days from the release of this video in the pinned comment. So if there's already been a winner picked, then that means that the video, or well, the giveaway for this particular video is over. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video a whole ton, and I'll see you on the next one.